So this bud nut socket that we broke. So it's a bud nut socket because it's got two things in one. So 1.5" lug nuts go in it. And then the inner lug nuts, which is a 13/16 square drive, is down in there. And it gets that off too. So it does both lug nuts. So it's one socket that does both. It's a square drive in the middle. It's called a bud nut socket. So it's 1.5" and a 13/16. This set from Harbor Freight, 67989 is the part number. It has these 1-inch drive sockets. And it says it has a 13/16 bud socket. And they show one here, but that's not a square drive. But it does say 13/16 on it, but that's not what it is. So when you open it up, it's a 1.5" and a 13/16 square. So the square drive's down in there, and then the 1.5" on there. That's their bud nut socket. So they have the wrong picture on the box. And then they also have the wrong kind of description there too, because it doesn't say it's got a bud nut socket where it's got an 1.5" with a 13/16 square drive. But that part number for this set is what you want to get your bud nut socket. And it has all the other sizes. A 1-inch, an 1 1/8", 1 1/4", 1 3/8", 1.5", 5/8", 3/4", 1 7/8", and 2-inch. So all those other ones are right all those are right. It's just that one's wrong in the picture and sort of in the description, but that's what you want, bud nut socket. We'll do a cold start here. This is first thing in the morning. Next morning, it was in the 60s overnight. I expect it to fully fire up just right away.
You'll feel just a thump.
Let me get under there, Jonathan. Okay, go. Give me a second. Yeah, that kingpin is shot. Okay. Leaky wheel seal there. We can see the oil on the brake shoes. Is that glue on those lug nuts?
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear that sound?
I sure do.
It's money falling out of your wallet.
Yep.
If you look at this close, you can see all these wheel studs are too short for these aluminum rims, except for one. The one on the far left at 9 o'clock is the right length, but the other ones are negative threads on the lug nuts. Okay, wiggle it. Oh my gosh. This side's worse than the other.
Worse than the other.
Okay, jiggle it left and right. Okay. Hey Brian, hop inside, grab the steering wheel.
Yeah.
just the slightest amount left and right, like moving it 1 inch left, 1 inch right, 2 inches total between the two. Now do like a 1/2 inch left, a 1/2 inch right. So you're moving it about a total of 1 inch.
Yeah, so now right now it's playing the wheels, not hitting anything. So I just turn it counterclockwise till I feel the play, and I go about 1/2 inch.
How far are you going then total?
About 1 inch, 1.5 inches.
Each direction or total between the two?
Each direction till I feel resistance on the wheel.
So it's an 1.5 inches to the right before you feel resistance?
Yeah.
And then it'll be 3 inches back the other way before you feel resistance?
No, I'd say 1.5 inches total between the two.
Okay. Yeah, that's not, it's, the problem is not under here, it's forward of this point, so that's good. So we have 100% movement left to right there going into the gearbox. And then if I back off here, go a little further to start to see the drag link moving. There you go. This is scary when you see how many threads are actually holding these wheels on. So with the aluminum rim on the inner, we were only getting, okay, let's call this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 threads of engagement. I can't really get in there. So even though these inner lug nuts kind of go in beyond the rim just a little bit, the threads don't start until they're way up in there. So that's why it's so dangerous. Somebody put anti-seize on these too. No wheel manufacturer recommends you put anti-seize ever on those. We ordered a couple of new steel bud wheels, the rims, so we're gonna put steel for the inners, so we'll have a lot more thread engagement on the lug nuts instead of having aluminum inners. I can see these brakes are way out of adjustment. There's a big gap between the shoes and the rim there. You can tell that hasn't been greased. It's the S-cam. See how far out of adjustment they are. Let's see. Yeah. Quarter, 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 quarter. Now it's tight. Okay, yeah, so it was more than a full revolution off. Go ahead and back it off some extra so we can get the rim off. That's good.
There's no oil in
Shine it on the brakes there. Yeah, they're definitely oily. But it looks dry on the inside. turbo's definitely been rubbing the housing in there. The bearings are shot in it. He said he has more power when the engine's cold, but as soon as it warms up, then he doesn't have as much power. I'm wondering if maybe the oil is thicker in the bearings on the turbo, and then when the oil gets hot and thins out a little bit, then it's allowing it to touch, maybe. Just a possibility. We have a lot of bad wheel bearings and races here. Lots of little pits on here and scrapes and scores, and almost every bearing on the bus is bad. These wheel studs have seen better days, that's for sure. Got some heat checking here on these front drums, but nothing's catching a fingernail and none of them travel too far. 75% of the distance is it needs to each crack, but yeah, it's definitely got some. Look at this one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what if I hit the shock with a hammer while you're spinning that nut? The shock mount nut here is stripped. It just spins and spins and spins, but doesn't come off. So we're trying to cut it off. Tried using the air chisel and it wouldn't do it because it's kind of convex in there. So we're going to use this little die grinder and cut it in half.
Sounds like my dentist.
Yeah, it does. The air hammer might split it now that it's much better.
My goodness, huh?
You getting the studs from Luke too?
Got the shock.
Oh, for the flaps.
Got the shock mount off.
Oh, I don't think you need it. Yeah, but we.
Don't put that on.
That one had a little bit of resistance to it.
There's a little play in that.
Yeah, that ain't nothing. That's a new shock mount there. He's gonna take that one off. Nice. heck of an oil leak here. He's replaced that seal in there, but to me that looks like that would be that seal leaking again for the cam pulley. When you see a clean streak like that. But there is obviously something leaking up top here. And it looks like it's the top of the governor housing. It's leaking because everything is just dripping wet. It's hard to tell in the video, but it is black all the way down. Yeah, so he said he replaced the seal there before, but it was just the seal, and you're supposed to replace this too, that goes on there. So I've got a new one of these in stock, so we'll take it apart and we'll put this on first. It's a new surface that the seal rides on. That'll keep it from leaking. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's definitely a lot of lines through there too, but it's not a smooth surface. I'm going to put this brake spring on backwards. It's ready to break in half. It's paper thin. The other one's on backwards too. A little thicker than this one right now. But these are supposed to arch around the hub. So that rubs on the hub there, making that groove. Put them on backwards. Eventually it breaks off and then the brake shoe just floats in there. I love the factory dash. So he's got these pleated shades that go both ways, right? You can lower them at the top or from the bottom.
Down, bottom up.
And then he took cabinet pulls and mounted them there. So when he brings the shade down, it snaps in and stays in place up against the window, because these, they're not level. They come down at an angle. The windows at the top, it's in more and then it goes out at an angle. So otherwise this shade would be hanging in. So that's a really cool feature. I like that. And then he's got a big kitchen, couch. Very nice.
Behind the counter. And then we can look out the windows and see where we're going.
Nice.
Crazy.
So we have a big shower. And then the bathroom goes forever because it's behind that dinette that they have there. Yeah, this is huge.
And then, of course, the pocket door. So that's why the shower valve's way over there.
Oh, yeah. I like the door, too. Nice. Get out here so you can enjoy your dinner.
Oh, we're good. We can't stop talking about the day. Are you kidding me?
We got into a lot of stuff today in one day.
Said, holy cow, we opened up every...
All right, so that's the end of day one here. So we got into a lot already on this bus. He came with new airbags and new shocks. We're gonna get all that stuff put on. So you got new brake chambers. And then we had to order kingpins, wheel bearings, races, seat wheel seals. We're gonna look into the brakes a little bit more, and then we got to do some work on the Jake brakes and a few other things. And then the turbo, we didn't, expect that problem. So quite a few things though, just for day one. So more videos coming.
See that white smoke rising up the holler through the trees, and from a mile away you can hear them play as they climb that hill with ease. At the top of that mountain there's a new life waiting for those who can make the run. If they can make it to the top, Scott will put them in the shop till their new life has begun. Mountain, where the buses come to run. Bus Grease Mountain, we're gonna get that big job done.